All right, so welcome to Thursday's class. My name is Kate with Scott Leroy Marketing. Today we are going to be going over campaigns and more specifically email campaigns, how to create an email campaign and how to send one out using your command platform. So that is what we're going to take a look at today. So let's go ahead and jump into command. All right. Once we are in command, and as you can see, I'm already signed in. The first thing we want to do before we start creating our email design that we're going to send out is we want to take a look at our marketing profile. To access your marketing profile, you are going to hit the little drop down next to your name in the top right-hand corner of your screen. From there, we're going to head down to settings. And once we're in settings, we're going to look at this menu bar on the left-hand side, go to connect settings, and we're going to head into marketing profile. Now, you might be asking what this has to do with campaigns and sending out emails through command. This information in your marketing profile pulls to a lot of different places. This information is going to pull directly to your KW website. It's going to pull directly to your branded consumer app. It's going to pull to some of your other marketing items, but more specifically for today's class, the information in this marketing profile is going to pull into your designs. With that being said, the only place you can edit the information pulling into your designs is within this marketing profile. It can't be edited within the design itself. You do need to head over to the marketing profile to make any changes. So we're going to go through this profile. And I'm going to point out a few of the items that you really have to pay attention to. First and foremost, make sure you have this turned on and you're seeing a little green light here. This makes sure that the information in this profile is feeding over to those other platforms and profiles for you. Next thing, of course, is anything with a red asterisk. Those will have to be completed in order to save this profile and to turn it on. So make sure those are included. First thing is your photo. You'll want to make sure you have some type of photo here. Headshot, photo you've taken of yourself that you'd like to use, whatever that might be. They do recommend that this is a 360 by 360 pixel. The reason for that being is that it may chop off your head, stretch your face out, something like that. It can appear distorted, cut off, things like that if it's not that perfect little square. So resizing that before you add it to this profile is important. If you need help with that, you can always reach out to our support email. Let me go ahead and drop that in the chat for you guys really quickly. We are happy to resize any photos you might have, and you can just email those over to us. Now, the next thing is a team logo. Now, while this is not a required item, we do strongly encourage you to add a photo here. Specifically for the class that we're doing today, this team logo does pull into the email designs, whether you are on a team or not on a team. So if you do not have a photo here, that team logo space within your email design may appear as a broken image when that email is sent out. So having a photo here is very important. A couple alternatives if you are not on a team. Maybe you've branded yourself as an individual agent. You can always add your own logo here. Other options outside of a logo would be another headshot. We do find those work well in this space. You can also add a generic KW logo, separate from your Market Center logo. Those work great as well. So a couple of options there. This one's also recommended 360 by 360. Not necessarily required for this one. It will adjust in most places. However, in the email designs, it is best to have all of the logos the same size. So in the email designs, they appear the same size. So for email design specifically, having those same size photos does make a difference. Moving down, you have your details, first, last name, license number, again, not required, very important to add. In some cases, if your email design template is pulling in your license number and it is missing here, you may see an error when trying to create that. So make sure you have your license number plugged in. If you're on a team, you can add that here. If you have a specific job title, designation that you'd like to add, you can add those here, as well as a slogan. Moving down, you're going to have any military affiliations. You can select those, whether you are just a supporter and patriot or a military family member. Tons of options here. Moving down, you have your bio. So you can go ahead and add that here. Phone numbers, of course, need to be included. Email address that you prefer to use. Next, you have your website URL. Another one that you may see an error if you're missing this. Make sure it is the full URL, so the entire thing. If you're using your KW site, do make sure you are not including www. They actually don't work with the KW sites, and that will cause your website to generate an error. So full URL there, no www. Next is your Market Center information. So you have a Market Center specific logo for your specific office. You're also going to have all of your Market Center details over here on the left-hand side. Now, KW Connect officially has transitioned into Command as of today, and we weren't seeing this redirect to logos earlier. I am sure they will have those in here. We're not finding them just yet. So in the meantime, if you need help with your Market Center logo, you can reach out to our team. If we have that, we will provide that for you. Once they have everything integrated into the Connect section of Command, you should be able to locate those here as well. Down below, we have compliance. So if you are in an office that requires specific compliance to be included, you can add legal footer text, links, and images, and those can be added here. These items will appear on the legal footer of your website. You can include them into your emails if you need to, and all of that good stuff. Lastly, you have your social media. Again, these are going to be the full URL for those sites. You want to grab the public-facing URL. So as a guest viewing it, not as yourself logged in, viewing it on your internal side. Make sure it is that public-facing URL. Easiest to grab those on a desktop, but you may be able to do that from your mobile device as well. And then you do have Google Analytics. If that is something you have set up and you are tracking that through your website, you can include that here. Now, once your marketing profile is fully up to date, go ahead and hit that save button. That will make sure any of those changes are applied to the various platforms. Now from here, we're going to head back to the home screen of Command. I'm going to check the chat really quick. I went over the KW logo. If you're still needing help, just let me know and we can go back to that. Now from the home screen here, since we're creating an email campaign, instead of going straight to campaigns, we first want to go and create our design. So the first thing we want to do is head into the designs platform. So that kind of looks like a paintbrush with a canvas behind it. If you hover over these applets, they will let you know the name of them. You can, of course, hit the red and white KW to expand that and close that as well. We're going to head into designs. Now, once we are here within our designs dashboard here, we can search for designs. We can filter out specific types of designs. We can also sort them by oldest to newest, newest to oldest. We can change the layout view. So if we'd like a table view versus the tiles. We can also import design. And for this one, we're going to go ahead and create. These designs here that you're seeing are designs that we have previously created within our Command platform. So if you haven't created anything yet, you may not see any designs showing up, and that is okay. First, we're going to go ahead and create design though. Now, once we hit that, we are focusing on an email campaign today. So we are going to go into the email designs. So I'm going to click that and hit next. Now, once we do that, we're viewing some templates that are provided by Keller Williams International. You can use these templates. You can fully customize them, remove information, add information, whatever you'd like. We will take a look at one of these templates, but before we jump into the templates, what I want to do is create an email campaign from scratch with you guys. So we're actually going to hit create new template in the top right-hand corner. And once we do that, we are brought into our email editor. Okay, so here we can name our email. We will do class, and I'll change the date here. We are doing 410. You don't have to hit save or anything. You could just click off that. In this top banner up here, after we've titled our email, which is internal, this is only for you to see, you have options on the right-hand side. If you click that, you can preview your email. You can send a test email, and you can also download template. Now with the test email, at this time, it will send automatically to your KW email. There is no way to send it to another email. If you do not have a KW email created, it will automatically send your test email to the recovery email on file. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to send yourself a test email. You also have save and close, and then the exit out button. Now our next banner, we have some preview options. This allows us to see what our email design will look like on a desktop when someone is viewing it, what it will look like in a tablet view, and what it will look like on a mobile view. Now, very important to kind of take a look at these different ones. Sometimes we do see the mobile not adjust quite right, and you may need to really come back and adjust the full design to make sure that that is translating properly to the mobile device. Over here on the right, we have view components. We also have that preview again that allows us to preview the email like a consumer would. We have undo and redo. Now moving over to the right-hand side, we have layout, content. Those are going to be are going to be under blocks. We also have the ability to adjust the background if we'd like to. So if we click on that, we can adjust the body width of the email, so we can make it smaller if we'd like to. We can adjust the padding. Now, when you think of padding, I kind of want you to think of a border around the item you're creating, but not a colored border. It's going to be the white space around your design. Now, you can also mess with the background color. If you'd like to change the color of the background, you can certainly do that. It will change the entire thing. You can also add an image if you'd like to. So we'll just grab one of these. We'll just grab this one. Oops, didn't mean to load more. My Zoom is in the way. That will add that photo. Of course, this photo is not good for what I'm trying to create because the sizing is way different, but just want to show you guys how you can do that. If we go back to color, we can leave this white. Again, we can change the color if we want it to be red. Let's see if we adjust this, if we can see it. Not yet. That changes it. We don't want to do that though. All right, so I'm going to move this back to white. I do not want to create a design on a red background. But that is how you adjust that background. We're going to head back to the blocks section. Now, if you'd like to create the layout of your email, you can grab these and drag them over. It's literally drag and drop. You'll see that the yellow border on the image, you'll see the green line. The green line is going to indicate where it is dropping that specific item. So if we want to come in and put 2 columns above, we could, and then move that down. We could come and put our 3 here instead. So as you can see, you're just dragging and dropping these items. Now you can also hover over one item. That will create that over just that item. So if that's not what you wanted to do, you can delete it. You want to make sure you get the whole space when you're trying to insert something like the divider here. The divider is just going to have a line in there. Now you can change the color of the line. You can change the thickness of the line, the width. Let's do 25. Make it about as big as that column. So a couple of options there. Again, padding. That's going to create space above and below the item. And then you have position as well. So pretty self-explanatory, left, right, center. Once we have this ready to go, we can go back. Now you don't have to use the layout here. You don't have to use columns. You can simply just start adding your items. One second, I'm trying to click on all of that. You have to click on all of the block to delete it. So as you can see, if I click into it, that's the white space. I'm going to click the outer space. So you can use the layouts if you'd like. You do not have to. We're going to close that up now. And we're going to take a look at each of these content items, okay? So to get started, the first one that I always like to pull in is the header, okay? So I'm going to, again, click on drag and drop that over. I want that above the divider today. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab my legal footer as well. And we're going to put that below. Now, this is the information that we were talking about in the marketing profile that really comes into play. You can only edit the information here within the marketing profile. So if you're seeing something that is incorrect or missing, you do want to go back to that marketing profile to edit that. Now, with that being said, this logo right here above the agent first name, last name, that is the team logo that is going to pull from that marketing profile. If you do not have a photo there, when this email sends out, you will have an image that looks exactly like this one here appearing within your design. Sometimes it will appear that there's nothing there, but many times we see it appear with that broken image. So that's why we emphasize making sure something is there so that it fills that space. Now, to make sure that this information is pulling correctly and that everything is up to date, you can hit the little eyeball to preview your email. Now, in doing that, it is going to plug in those details. So as you can see, we have the team logo, we have the logo for the Market Center, both here and down here. As you can see, they're looking a little bit different sizes, as well as these two. Most likely, these are not 360 by 360 in the marketing profile. Most likely, this one is bigger, and that is why it's appearing bigger in this design, okay? Back to our design though, let's go ahead and pull in the rest of our text. Let's say that we want to pull in an image at the top. I know it is April, but we're going to go ahead and use the February newsletter because that's what I have in here. So I'm going to pull that in. Let's say we're creating a newsletter to send out. Let's say now I don't like all of this space up here. I can remove some of it, remove some here. Now, when I add that photo, I did that rather quickly, but we'll do it again. Let me go ahead and do text first. Pull in our text. Let's say we want to say hello to whoever we're sending this to. I want to point out these merge tags. So up here, you have the ability to pull in merge tags. Now, these merge tags that are for agent, that is going to pull your bio, your designation, your team name, or license name, is pulling those from that marketing profile that we talked about. If you scroll down, you're going to have Market Center information. When using these, it's going to pull the Market Center info from that marketing profile, as well as your legal footer text, if that's something that needs to be included in your email. Now, lastly, we have contact information. So if you're wanting to identify who you're emailing this to by first name, you can use contact first name, there's last name, email, etc. And you can go ahead and click those and it will plug in their first name when this email is sent out. Okay. Now, of course, you can adjust your text. I don't think I copied all of that. We can adjust our text. We can adjust the size of that. We can change if it's bold, italic, underlined. If we want to mess with the color, we can adjust that as well. The center or if it's center, left, right, the alignment, and you can add links, emojis, bullets, etc. Now the styling down here is going to be standard throughout a lot of the different content pieces we're taking a look at. You'll have the width, that's going to determine how large the area is in which that is putting that information. So of course this is kind of big, we can tone it down a little, but when I put 50 in, it made it wrap versus it being on one line. And then again, padding again, that's the spacing around it. Now we do also have the ability to add a border. So we can turn that on. That will create a border around the item. We can change that width if we want to. If we want that to be rounded on the corners or not, we can change the radius there. You can, of course, change your color. If you want to pull in the color from a design or an element in your design, you can use the dropper to pull that in. So lots of options there when it comes to the border. Go ahead and close that again. We're going to go back. I like to point out how you can check to make sure this is working. So when you send yourself a test email to view your design, it is going to show up exactly like it shows up here. It is going to show contact first name. When you're sending yourself a test email, there is only an email associated. There is no contact first name, last name, etc. associated with that email address because it's not a contact in your database. So to check to make sure that is working, you can hit the little preview. And when we do that this time, we now have a little search contacts box at the top right corner that was not there before. So we can come in here, we can enter a contact's name, and we will see what that will look like when we click on that. So let's just grab this one here. As you can see, it's pulling in the name from the contact. So that is the best way to test that, make sure it's working. Again, you can view it on the smaller scale. It does change the layout a little bit. So just make sure you're checking all of those. Moving along though, let's pull in an image again. Now I want to point out we have my images. These are going to be images that I've previously used in an email design only. So it's not pulling from my designs, it's pulling only photos that I've previously used in an email. Now I can also pull listing images if I want to pull in a listing property and pull in a photo from that. You can search by all listings or my listings. You can search by address, MLS number, and KWLS ID. Lastly, we have add images. If you want to upload something from your computer, you can do that as well. So let's just scroll all the way down. Let's say I wanted to add this just joined forces. I can go ahead and save that, add that to my design. Now then I can link it if I want them to be redirected to a website, a landing page, etc. When they click on that photo, I can do that. If I wanted to redirect them to the Scott Leroy website, and add that link here. I can again change the width if I want that photo to be smaller, padding, the position of it, and again, the radius. So lots of options there. If I pulled the wrong photo, I can always replace and select a different one. I'm going to go ahead and go back now. Our next option is a button. So I'm going to go ahead and drag that over. A button, you can change the text if you want it to say click here, register here, whatever that may be, view more. If you're redirecting a property, whatever fits whatever you're trying to create. You can then again link that. So are you using a landing page or a web address? You can go ahead and paste that information here. If you're doing a landing page, it will give you options usually to pull those. I can see it's giving me an error today, but generally those will pull up. Moving down, we have our styling. So do we want it to fit the content or the entire width of this box? So we can change that. As you can see, it is much longer now. We can again change that color if we want to. Let's go with gray here. We can change the text in the box and the size of that. If we want to change the color of the text, we can also do that. Let's grab red. There we go. The padding again and the border. So a lot of those are going to be consistent throughout all of the different content pieces that you can create. You're going to see a lot of these repeat. Once we're done, then we can go ahead and go back. And our next item, we already did header and footer. Our next item is a listing block. So we can go ahead and pull that in. Now this is going to allow you to pull in all of the listing details. As you can see in our right-hand side, we have autofill from listing. So we can come in here, find the home that we're looking for, hit view. We can grab the photo we'd like to use, hit select, and it will plug in all of the other details for you. So as you can see, we have address, price, bedrooms, etc. Moving down, you can verify all of that. If anything is incorrect, you can go ahead and update that. We then also have the ability to link it. So if you wanted to link it to an open house sign-in sheet for that property, or just the the property on your website, you can link it there, whatever you'd like to do. You can adjust the font that is appearing in that box, as well as the color. So you can change all of that. Again, padding, position. Now this one does have a layout option, okay? So you can do horizontal, which it is now, or you can switch that to vertical. Now one thing I like to show here is when it is in horizontal, if you're viewing that in mobile, it is going to appear vertical. It just allows it to show all of the information. So just a quick little tip on that one. Once we're done, we can go back and you can add as many listings as you'd like. If you have 3, 4, 5 that you want to include, you can of course grab all of those. Go ahead and add that one. Again, same thing, link it, whatever you'd like to do. Now next we have an event block. So let's go ahead and drag that over. Let's say you have an upcoming open house or you have a client event that you'd like to invite people to. You have a full block here that allows you to include an image, a date and time, a title, and a description, as well as a button. So if you didn't want to use a button here and you wanted to create a full event, you could go ahead and use it here. Each of these are going to have to be edited individually. So if we want to just grab a photo, let's see if I have something we can use. I don't see anything. All right, well, let's just use this just listed. We'll pretend it says open house instead. Let's say we have an open house coming up. We want to invite people. We can go ahead and adjust this. Let's say this is this weekend. So let's do April 13th. 2025. We'll leave it at 5. I know that's really late for an open house, but I'm gonna leave it alone. We can adjust the width again, padding and border. Again, you can always add merge tags here. Anytime you're adding text, change the text size, font, colors, etc. I'm gonna go ahead and go back. We can do our event title. Let's just do open house. Again, all of the same other items, and then our description. Ooh, I could add all of my stuff. All right. Keep it simple for you guys so we can keep moving. Lastly, we have our button. Again, fill container, fill contents, whatever you like the best. You can link this if you want to have an open house sign-in sheet created, or again, directly to that specific property, or if you want to have a RSVP list, whatever it may be, you can always link whatever you'd like to the button here. Colors, fonts, etc., all can be adjusted the exact same as we did on the button up here. Now, moving to our next item, it's a video. So I'm going to go ahead and drag this drop to our design. Now, when you are pulling in a video to your design, it has to be a public-facing video. So it has to be available. Generally, we recommend YouTube or another platform similar, because you are going to need to grab a URL. As you can see, I've used one before. But if we want to just grab it, come and grab one of these, let's grab this URL. Paste that here. Now, when you paste your URL, you still need to add a thumbnail for that photo. So otherwise, it's going to show up exactly like this. You do want to add a cover photo, thumbnail, whatever you want to call it. So you can hit replace again. We can just grab one. I have one that looks similar here. And that is how you edit that. Again, width, padding, left, right, center. You can adjust all of that right here. When you want to test this, it used to show in the test email. I haven't done one for a while since they've adjusted it to KW, but you should be able to play that video within your test email to make sure it's working. Last, we have a market snap. So let's go ahead and pull that one over. Now, market snap is going to give basically a snapshot of a local neighborhood. You can find the trends of that. With that being said, you can search by a zip code or postal code. I'm going to come grab the zip code right here, and we'll plug that in. When I plug that zip code in, it's going to allow me to select a specific neighborhood that I'm interested in looking at. So I'm just going to pick one today. It's going to plug in the map. It's going to plug in all of the statistics. If you find that these statistics are inaccurate, there is no way to manually update the statistics. If you do not like what they're showing, you can, of course, select a different neighborhood, or you can create your own visual and use that instead. But unfortunately, at this time, there's no way to edit this design itself. It's going to manually pull those details. We can change the name. And that will change up here. We can, again, always change our font. Keep it consistent throughout. You can change the header text color as well as the body text color. So if you wanted to make that a different color, you can. That changes down here. Padding, center, border. So all the same items as we've previously looked at. That is your snapshot. Now, once you're done with the snapshot and we're good with this email, we want to just preview it, make sure everything is good. Got everything working. We can check our contacts again, make sure it's pulling that correctly. We can check our view on all of them. Like I said, always check the mobile. Sometimes things will strangely overlap or something like that. You just want to make sure that's not happening. Once we're done though, we can go ahead and save and close. And then we're going to go ahead and pull this into our email campaign. So from here, we want to head directly into campaigns, okay? It looks kind of like a megaphone. And we're going to head into emails. Now from here, we have our email dashboard. We can see how many mailed in the last 30 days, lifetime, month to date, etc. See recipients, opens, and clicks. Down below, we can search. We can also sort those or filter those based on mailed, scheduled, archived, or drafted. We can select which goal we're looking for. So if we're looking for a past email and how it did, we can filter those out based on the goal. We can also filter them based on the channel. So you can use command mail as well as MailChimp to send emails. With command mail, you do get 5,000 per month that you can send included with your command account. If you're using more than 5,000, you can hit this upgrade. That will redirect you, should redirect you to your, it should redirect you to your settings. I'm not sure why that link's going there today, but you should be able to come down and find command mail in your settings and you can manage that here. This is where you can view your subscription again, how many emails you have left. You can upgrade that account and get more emails per month. You can also configure your email settings. So what do you want the sender name to be? And what do you want the reply email to be? So when emails are sent using an email campaign, they're automatically going to come from an agent, a bunch of numbers at mailer.kw.com email. There's currently no way to change that, but you can adjust where the replies go to. So if someone is replying to an email, it will funnel into this email. With that being said, you can overview. So we have our past email campaigns, canceled, drafted, mailed. If we were to click on some of these, we can view additional details. So we can see how many were sent, delivered, if they were opened, clicked on, if people are unsubscribing, if they weren't sent for whatever reason, maybe they were being blocked by the other provider. You can see those emails here and try to resend them. And if they were just not opened, you can see that here as well. It will give you the contact name, email, etc. So you can view all of that information. Sorry, had a little bit of trouble going back to campaigns from that spot lately. All right, before we fully create our email campaign and get it ready to send, the first thing we want to do is get our email list ready to go. So who are we sending this email to? We have email lists right here. We can go ahead and click on that. And then from here, we can create our email list. So you can do either MailChimp or command mail. We're going to be doing command mail today. and we can go ahead and create list. Now with that, I'm going to find our demo tag. There it is. You can search by tag, you can add all, whatever you'd like to do. You can search for contacts. Now that we have all of our demo tag pulled up, I can select all. If I go to the bottom, if there were more contacts, I can keep loading until everyone is loaded and then select all. But since I don't have that many, we're just going to hit that. Now, when you're adding email lists using a specific tag, if you are still adding contacts to your database with that same tag, your list will not automatically update. You will want to update those each time that you come in to send the email. So you can either edit the email list to add new people, or you can just create a new list and pull everyone up with that tag. But they will not update manually. I do need to name it. So let's just do class 410 and we'll do confirm. So now we have our new list. I can still edit, I can delete whatever I need to do. From here, let's go ahead and go back to emails and let's just create campaign. Again, we're doing email today. We'll call this class again, keep it simple and consistent. And then we need to decide what our goal is. So what is our purpose of our email? Well, we kind of just created a newsletter with information. So there's really not a ton of purpose behind this email. Make sure your emails do have purpose. But I'm just going to do other. You select what platform you're using and create. Now, once we've done that, we see our campaign name. Now, again, this is internal only for you. They're not going to see this when they get your email. You have the account, and this is where you select your email list. So I'm going to go ahead and find our new list. You can create your list from in here. We just find that doing it ahead of time causes less errors in command. Moving down, we have our send from. So again, send from name and the email. If you were to edit that here, it's going to redirect you right here so you can make changes. We then have our subject. So I know our newsletter said February, but we're just going to put April. This is what they will see when they click on your email. They will see this subject in their inbox. Now we can select our design. It does need to be an email design for you to select it. So if you created a design as a social post or a flyer for printing, you're not going to be able to find it and pull it in here. You would have to pull that design into your email template. So you will only see emails here. We're going to go ahead and click that. It's going to allow us to view it, make any final changes. You can create it in here. Again, we do it ahead because we find that it causes less errors. We're going to go ahead and close out of this. We already saved it, so we should be good. We're seeing our design again over here on the left-hand side, so we can take a look at that. From here, we can save the draft. We can schedule this to go out. We can send it right now. We can also preview or send a test email. Now let me see if I can find a test email really quick to show you guys from a previous class. So give me 1 second. All right, here we go. So this is a test email that was sent quite a while ago. As you can see, it's going to come from an agent mailer email. Again, there is no way to change that. All of these emails sent through a command will send through a similar email. If we scroll down though, we can take a look, make sure our videos work. As you can see, this one is working. You can click on your buttons, everything else. The last thing I want to point out right here on this email, again, contact first name is not going to show. You can only see that when we're doing the preview. And the other thing that's not going to appear in the test email is the unsubscribe. Every email sent through command will have an unsubscribe down here in the left-hand corner, but it will only appear when the email is physically sent to contacts, okay? But those will appear just like this. So we could go ahead and schedule this out. We can save the draft, whatever you'd like to do. If you're ready to go ahead and send it, you can start doing that. I'm going to hit save. And really quick before class is over, I just want to go over the template real quick, and then we will have some time for questions. So we're going to go back to designs for 1 second. We're going to hit create, email, and this time we're going to take a look at one of these. So let's go ahead and grab this. We'll grab the open house one. Now, very similar. It's going to have some differences. One thing I like to point out is that when you're doing the open house this way through this specific template, if you're pulling in a listing, let's just grab one for example really quick. Let's just grab this one here, grab the front photo. It's only pulling the photo. I still have to go in and edit the address. I still have to go in and edit the bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, etc. It's not pulling all of that. So keep that in mind. It is a little different. It also is going to have to make me, or it's also going to make me pull up the listing every time to pull in the photos. So if you have the photos, that's going to make it easier. Otherwise, you're going to search your listing each time, select a different photo. Let's just grab this one here. And that is how you'd replace each of those photos. Now, most of these do have other items from your marketing profile pulled in. This is where we see a lot of those errors if you are using a template. As you can see, it's pulling your designation, your license number, your website. So if those items are missing, you may see an error when you're creating a template this way. So as you can see, if I preview, it's pulling all of those details, but if they're missing from my profile, that's when I'm going to see that error, okay? So that is this one. This is how you use the templates. It's exactly the same. You're just editing the information on here. You can, of course, add in your own items if you wanted to add more to this. Let's say you did want to add a video or a neighborhood snapshot. You can add all of those items to these templates. It's going to make me grab one. So I could still add all of these. I want a snapshot. All of that can be added to your email as well. So just because it's a template and it has specific items already included, you can still add more to it, okay? All right, that is, I'm going to save and close. That is our template and how you kind of take a look at those. We have about 15 minutes, so plenty of time for questions if you guys have any, need me to go back to something. If not, I'm going to stop record. If you don't have questions and want to hop off, that is fine too. Hopefully we will see you next time and that this was helpful. Have a wonderful day and let's stop record for questions.